November 3rd here in southern Ontario, Canada. Now, Brian Peckford, he's the last living individual who helped draft and sign the Canadian Constitutional Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That's the Canadian Constitutional Charter of Rights and Freedoms in 1981-1982. Now, if you're American, this could be presented as roughly akin to your founding fathers and the Declaration of Independence, although many would say that's a stretch. However, Brian Peckford, Maxime Bernier, leader of the Progressive People's Conservatives, Progressive PPC, anyways, here in Canada, a formative opposition party that is making strides, although they hold no seats in the House of Commons. Anyways, Brian Peckford, Maxime Bernier, and 3 other individuals sued the federal government for violations under a section of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, that being related to the mandate that you couldn't travel by plane or by train unless you were in full compliance with the experiment. You know what I mean? Censorship. You had to have all of your roosters. Now, so they challenged this, and I'm not so sure if it's Supreme Court or Superior Court, not traffic court, one of the big courts anyways, to sue the government for this. The judge first ruled that all 5 cases would be lumped into one. Not a class action lawsuit, just that as all 5 suits were in essence the same, rather than the court going through 5 procedures, they just lump it into one. And so they did. Keith Wilson, he's a lawyer who's very much, he's a big Canadian lawyer with the Canadian Constitution of Freedoms. I forget exactly, didn't do my notes. You can see him on a daily basis in the investigative committee into the Emergencies Act inquiry. He knows his business. He was involved with this case. He might have been one of the 5 plaintiffs, in fact. I'm not certain. But he was there speaking anyways, whether he was one of the 5 or not. I kind of think he was. So again, we have Brian Peckford, signature on the Canadian Charter of Freedom and Rights. Maxime Bernier, a well-known politician in Canada. 3 other individuals, including Keith Wilson. And the judge ruled that because the mandates have been suspended, the case is moot, which is the legal terminology for it. Because the mandates have been suspended, not dropped, people can't seem to get their head around that, the case is moot. I would argue that this is akin to saying the guy got beat up and assaulted, but it's moot because now, a year later, his bruises and broken limbs have all healed. So there'd be no point in putting an aggravated assault charge on his assailant. He's all healed up now. He can walk again. Yeah, okay. And people think that the courts aren't in Trudeau's pocket, the same as the commissioner of the RCMP, the governor general that he placed. Oh, the list goes on and on. Yeah, the case is moot and invalid because the mandates have been suspended. Yeah.